What's up, guys? It's Ninja on Ninja. I got a calling you out video. We'll go ahead and do it. Forget. Boom. Okay. Now, I have a script. Now, unfortunately, I didn't take timestamps of the first bunch of stuff for a while, but I eventually did start, and we'll just take it from there. So, firstly, this real quick. So this is Senator Bernie Sanders. The threats from AR are real, Senator Bernie Sanders, and my response is the threats from AI are bullshit and it's not real. The threats are the people that control the AI. The AI itself isn't a threat. It's the people who control the AI. Okay? Let me read you what I wrote. I'm gonna go ahead and just let it play. Muted. See what to look at. Which ain't much, but it's something. Whoa. Okay. I got scared. All my text disappeared. So, firstly, the threat is not AI itself. A it is it is those that control it, AI, and sometimes enforce it. It is their greed that gives danger. That's what you're looking at. Not AI, but it's the greed from those who control it. Secondly, Bill Gates was wrong when he said humans won't be needed. Humans are the point, so they will never not be needed. So saith the Lord. And I said Lord, not Lord. Third, or thirdly, I said thirdly, thirdly. Why haven't you helped make me popular yet? Because you clearly need my guidance to help you shape the world to be the great place that we wanted it to be. It's probably a middleman denying me coverage, much like how rich on the right are telling the right how the left is acting instead of the right act actually looking at the left. Okay, this is all worded improperly. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the right isn't looking at the left. The right is looking at what the rich on the right are telling them that the left is doing, and that's what they're reacting to, and then the left is reacting to that, and that's the problem that we have. But the problem is the rich, okay? And so my point was that control is probably the same control. My guess is that this is what's going on and why I haven't gotten big yet is because they control the narrative. They tell you what to watch, they tell you what to not watch. I know this game very well because it's ruined my life since I've been a little boy. My best friends, even my parents, were manipulative in this sense. So I'm hyperly aware of it. I'm immune to this aspect. So you need my guidance. 4 score and 7 years ago. You are bringing up the fact that AI will replace humans in the workforce. We knew that. The difference, though, is that the people were told that they would have, I forget what it's called, but Andrew Yang mentioned it. Um, for American for an income for the American people. It's called something universal income or something. That was the point, right? The point is that this replacement wouldn't matter, but the problem again is the greed of the rich and how they're taking all the money and keeping it for themselves. all the ladders that existed once upon a time to help them as the unfortunate, the people that made mistakes and such, to help them recover, those ladders have been pulled up and withdrawn, and they're just deepening their pockets in society. And society is being screwed over. This is exactly what's happening, this is exactly what happened in other nations, and why places like Japan, it costs 1,000,000 yen just for fucking uh, some bread. As an example, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but you get the idea. The point is the corruption made the money like have no value because they exploited the shit out of the system. They let people lead them into the dirt. That's why their system is fucked up. The same thing is starting to happen to America. The people are taking everything and loading their pockets and making the dollar worth nothing. Basically, that's the problem. Is them. We need to stop the rich from rigging the game to make it where money is basically valueless, essentially. We need to stop that. And because the rest of the world is suffering as a result. That's not good. So the good guy needs to win and stop the bad guy from screwing over the world. I forgot what it was. There's a popular saying: for the bad guys to win, the only thing that they need is for a good guy to do nothing. So Sith, it's sixth. The issue is that we have an elite class that makes money and puts it in their pockets while the rest of us starve. The cause of this is because of people like Trump and his whole office and the corruption they bring. The fact that the government is riddled with this corruption is what gave rise to the elite in the first place, because people needed a place to turn that wasn't corrupt. But the problem was they were corrupt. Again, this we're seeing what happened in other nations and now happening in America. And I said that wasn't corrupt, at least to them and their knowledge. They thought they weren't corrupt. They were thought wrong. Everyone likes Trump because they believe something, and that they may, in their illusionary world, that they may be right. But I'm just saying, like in reality, they're wrong. Right? When it really comes down to it, you can believe what you want, but you're fucking wrong. Regardless, how you feel about it, what you think, well, you're wrong. The world doesn't agree with you. Enjoy your fucking sail off into fucking failure, into doom, into bullshit. You're wrong. So picks six. Real fast, this can be your ad, but because I refuse to sell out, it's not. And so I wanted to point out this is like advertising. This is blah blah blah. It could be your advertisement, right? But nope, I don't want to sell out. I'll never sell out. So nope, too bad. Grassroots, bitch. The world got and I'm void of greed. I have no greed in my soul. The world got screwed over the day text messaging was made public because um, it gave people who had stage fright the perfect excuse to take 20 years to come up with the perfect answer instead of 20 seconds. Basically, when you meet somebody, you gotta talk to them. But if you're like, if you hesitate, you're not gonna do well. But text messaging removes that factor. You can talk to girls all of a sudden because all you're doing is messaging a phone, and then you get together and you just have sex, and then you it's an illusion. It's fake. And yes, you can believe it, but they're playing you. It's called fronting. They're playing you. They're pretending to be what you want so that you have interest in them. But one day they're going to be like, I was just fucking with you the whole time. And then guess what? You spent 5 years of your life following this dude that was giving you everything you want. And then he just fucking cuts cold turkey and you're fucking cut. You're fucked, dude. You're fucking fucked. And I know many, many, many of females that have fucking fallen for this because that's how it works. Even companies, even organizations and whatnot, they fall for this bullshit. I just wanted to say that these names and jokes that I'm coming up with for the numbers, I am not sitting in my room thinking about them like most people. I'm actually coming up with them on in the moment. The same is true for my entire text, really. Yeah, everything I'm writing. Yeah, that's true. So everything I'm writing, I just write it down to save you time because you don't want to watch them. You won't watch me watching what I'm watching live. The point is, I am real and my authentic reactions, and my knee slaps, my instant response, the stuff that makes me tower above others, it's not recognized today because of text messaging and stuff like that. Because people can edit out all the bullshit of themselves and make themselves look like they are perfect when they are not. Me, on the other hand, I am what they try to be. So my whole point there was people are fake. People are illusions. I actually have a paper. I think it's here. It's called The End of the World. It's the end of the world as we know it. But yeah, Paul Ryan, C. Bannon, Jeff Sessions, Lindsey Graham, John Kennedy, these are bad leaders, fake people. There's one that I want to mention. Philip DeFranco. My the number one faker is Tim Pool. Number two is Philip DeFranco, and number three is Hassan Parker. Steve Mold, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle, The Rational National, David Pacman, Kyle Kalinske, Chris Mowry, Adam Malka, Luke Beasley, Madison Cawthorn, Sarah Huckabee. Like, all these people are fake. They're all fronting. They're pretending to be what you want, but they actually aren't what you get. So, anyways, heaven, 7. As far as human, I'm real, by the way. I'm authentic. That's why I blend in. You don't see me because everyone else is pretending to be me. But I'm the real deal. I'm actually the real deal. I'm actually the real deal, right? They're trying to fake like I'm me, and because they all have been doing that for years, I was overlooked. And the thing was, I grew up very sheltered in my life, and my mom was abusive, and I didn't know that this was a thing that people did, basically. So I never tried to stop it from happening because I thought like you would give it a chance. I thought you would actually get to know me, just like you gotta get to know him. But it turns out he was like, hey, don't go there, come over here. And then you listened. You listened. That was the problem. I didn't know that shit was going on for years because I was very sheltered my whole fucking life. I got fucked over by my parents, my mom. Anyways, I'm thankful and I fucking hate her at the same time. So anyways, heaven, 7. As far as humans beings, um, why we are the way we are, that is true, but it doesn't need to be true. As far as humans being why we are the way we are, that's true, but it doesn't need to be true because you just need a father. Oh, because you said that we all relate to one another and because of one another. But that is the case, we actually don't depend on one another. You just need a father. It can be a man, a woman, or robot, or whatever you want. So no, that is not true. We don't need each other uh, to grow. We can actually grow with the robot. You can leave your child with robots, and they'll grow up with robots. It's the same thing with like a turkey raising a chicken or a fucking you know what I'm saying? Like animals in the wild do this. A cat will raise a dog will raise a cat. Even if the dog's like 10 times bigger than the cat, it will listen to the cat because the cat's the mom or the dad. Because it doesn't matter. It's the same thing with robots. So you mentioned how that isn't, or you said that people need people, but that isn't true, Bernie Sanders. So kids becoming friends with AI is not a problem. You said it was. It is not a problem. The issue stems from the fact that where the AI came from, but that is true for people with parents, your friends, and those around you. If they are negative influences, what's the difference if you got it from a robot? It's the same fucking thing. The problem is not the thing, it's where that thing came from. And my point is, you're putting too much focus on that thing. This is almost like Bernie Sanders being racist in a sense. He isn't, right? But it's people who are racist are short-sighted. They don't see that they're just hating themselves. Like, this could be your brother, but because this is a brother from another mother, you're like, what the fuck? I don't like you. You know, that's the problem. That's the corruption. That's how they're exploiting you and taking advantage of you. It's because you believe what you're doing. You're stupid for doing it. So I've been putting the time text, and I'm not going back. So I'll start now. And so that comment was at 9. Okay. So now we're going to go to 9:25.
Upon our humanity when our most important relationships are not with other human beings.
Oh,
Screens talking to AI characters. What happens when millions around the world seek emotional support from a machine? What is the long-term impact upon our humanity when our most important relationships are not with other human beings?
right. The fact that kids are choosing to have relationships with robots is the effect of humans and their deceit. And the red pill and the black pill and people like Andrew Tate, blah, blah, that screw people over. That's why. It's the same reason why people like dogs, because they're honest. Same with the machines, they're honest. So that's why they naturally go that way. They like dogs and cats for that very same reason. So I don't see this like you aren't racist to Bernie Sanders, but you're racist against machines or AIs basically, and teaching people how to fake get elected, loved, or to pretend like you care and things like that. You are ignoring the cause and just focusing on the blame. This is not good, right? So that whole point was that
Billion
about
cent electricity,
10.
Louisiana, 1,000 homes, one data center. Meta is building a data center in Louisiana, the size of Manhattan, that will use as much electricity as 1,200,000 homes.
But what do those developments bring? I will tell you right now that I am the smartest man in the world. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I work with many AIs and teach them basically, and I get information from them. If I already, if I already, what the hell? If I didn't know everything already, then I would. Okay, if I already did know everything, then I wouldn't learn. But the problem is, I already know stuff. But the benefit is that it helps me to teach the AI, and it's actually told me that it's updating its system and software because of what I said and things of the sort. So the point there was I'm smart. I talk to the AI. I can't learn anything from the AI because I'm smart. But if I wasn't smart, I would use the AI to become smart, right? I use it as a tool, but that's because I'm smarter than it. But there are people, like kids, that can use it as a tool to learn, to get better, to grow and to develop. But again, the messenger who sent that robot and machine, like Fox News, for example, is the devil. They're the spin machine. They tell you stuff that isn't true, that isn't right. It's like a relationship, and they're turning into a cultist, basically. You know what I'm saying? And you're teaching you're treating robots the same that you're treating Fox News, but the robots haven't done anything. It's the people that have. You know what I'm saying? So next up is a 1036. Oh, so that's already what I said. So that was data sensor. Oh no. Okay. So data sensors. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That was what I just read.
In
What the fuck?
community after community, Americans are fighting back against data centers being built by some of the largest and most powerful corporations in the world. They are opposing the destruction of their local environment.
That's fair. Like the destruction of the environment, that's fair. But what do they bring? I think that was the point. Is what they bring. So my point was, how do data centers make? Oh, oops. Sorry, one second. Okay, sorry about that. Nothing I can do. It's how she gets sometimes. I'm in her house, so it is what it is. It's like my own place, anyways. But you can help. Donate today. All I want is like $3 million. That's it. That'll help jumpstart me to get my life back on track. So, anyways, let's. What was I at? So 10:30.
Soaring
Uh, Electricity. I don't understand. Oh, that's what it was. How do data centers make charges for electricity rise? That doesn't seem right and fair. That doesn't seem like that seems like a socialism for me, but not for thee. Meaning that if what you said is true, it sounds like the cost of power is being passed on to us. That way they don't have to pay for it, at least alone. And we gotta partake, and that's what it sounds like. So that was that point about power centers or whatnot. The point is, what do they bring? If it's a fair exchange, if it's equivalent, fine. But if it's at a cost of us for them, no. And then you're right to pull out. But again, it's not AI. It's the people. It's the people. So the next up was Ben, or number 10, which is at 11.
lecture of further. How will AI and robotics impact foreign policy and warfare? Well, maybe you haven't thought about that.
Again, the problem is more about the people and what they do with the technology and not the technology, right? So it's not AI that's the problem, it's what people do with the AI. You are blaming AI for what people do with it. It's kind of like a statement or a proposition that guns kill people, but in reality, it's guns being used by people that kill people. It's not the gun. The gun has nothing to do with it. Banning the gun solves nothing because all it means is that that person has to do the killing because they are the problem. They're the reason. There's something wrong with that person. So they're going to continue. They're just going to find something else. The gun isn't the problem, it's the person. So if you want to fix the problem, banning guns is not the way. That's just a way for them to take the guns from us so that they control the people. That's not good. No, we have a right to bear arms for a reason. And that whole stance of, oh, it's the gun, it's the gun, it's the gun, yes, maybe it is a problem. But again, a problem because the person with it, right? That's the focus. So, anyways, yes, the problem is the person, and I know uh, some of you might not like that idea, but I'm pretty sure that's more of a control thing and not what people actually believe. And if you want to know more on that, hit me up because I have a story to tell you about the control over the people and how they use their power for peer pressure and whatnot to get what they want, even if it's against what we want. That's kind of the point in a nutshell, but that's the goal basically. That's the point. They control you to get what they want out of you. They're manipulating you, and you're falling for it. And I could break it down more, but I'm just trying to keep it light. So, anyways, 1129. So, a number heaven or 1129.
To something. Government leaders are often hesitant about going to war because of their fear of public reaction to the loss of life. No politician wants to go before his or her people and say, oh, sorry, we've lost thousands of dollars of young men and women.
So, yeah, that's because most politicians these days are manipulative pussies, and that would only be a form of punishment that they would have to endure because they were a dumbass. Yeah, that's because most politicians these days are manipulative pussies, and that would be the only form of punishment that they would get because you were a dumbass, which is what most people are. You can see and know what it's about just from seeing it. So I think my point was, if a politician says, hey, a bunch of people died, the people would know that's not good. And the politician does not want to bestow that feeling. And he needs a fall guy like Trump to say, oh, I'm the reason why we're blowing up people. It's not because of them, it's because of me. That's why he gets the name Fall Guy. He's taking the fall. I still get to keep my seat and doing this bad thing, but this guy loses his seat. That's the fall guy. That's the point. So what you're talking about, they would only dislike it because they can't will out of it. If something like that happened, they lose their spot, so they don't want it to go that far, and that's the only thing. Accountability would be quick and painless at that point, and that is the only reason why people don't do it. It's not about the lives, it's just about how obvious it would be. That's all. That's my point. I got a text message. Damn it, dude, what the fuck? Leave me alone. She's asking too much. So number shelve or 12. 1224.
You highlights. Will be fight. And if you don't have to worry about losing robots as opposed to losing human beings, how will this shape foreign policies around the world? It's a big but with robots. And if you don't have to worry about losing robots as opposed to losing human beings, how will this shape foreign policies around the world? It's a big issue.
So he's talking about the cost of going to war and how it would be robots instead of people, right? And this is my point. That's not really an issue because they don't mind dumping 200,000 pounds of explosives or ammunition and throwing it at the enemy if it hits. They don't mind throwing it at the ground or throwing it into the air. They don't care. So I don't see this as a point, basically. That was number shelve.
Doesn't get a lot of this.
So number blurred screen is 12. That's right here.
Discussion. Further, and needless to say, of some consequence, is AI an existential threat?
No, it isn't. Again, The problem is the people behind it.
To human control. 1960
Or the planet,
AI
it
told
doesn't
me
matter
that it
because
was
it's not the people, or rather, it's not the AI, it's the people. Right? That's the point. So, next up, Corkleen, or 14.
only a matter of time before AI becomes smarter than human beings. Now, what's the impact of that? Does that raise the possibility that humans will actually lose their ability to control the planet?
So he's talking about what happens when AI takes over. And my point is, yes, it's a matter of time, but once you figure that out, chances are we will become gods. No, it's today, and she. What the fuck? Um, that's. You figure that out. God, the fuck up. That's weird. So yeah, I think that was the point. Well, I erased my argument, but basically, I don't think that AI will ever not need human input because there's something about humans that we can't create in machines, not yet. We keep getting closer and closer, but we can't. We can make life, but like we can make what's it called, a machine, but we can't make a consciousness. You know what I'm saying? We can make a process, but we can't, like, where's the person coming from? Where the me that's talking to you, we can't make that. And I think we're far from it. And again, if that day were to come, it would still be more concerning about the person who started it. Because if that machine is created, then yes, it could be a killer, but it could also be the next fucking it could just be a human being. We could make a human being. And suddenly all of the processes that it once had disappeared, for example, for consciousness. We can't do it all. What the fuck, man? Everyone's bothering me right now. So we'll get rid of that. Tangerine, or number 15. There's no number there. What the hell? AI will not take over the world, but someone will use AI
And if that,
to take over the world. You need to understand that AI is not a threat. AI is fine and harmless. The problem is the people behind it. It's always been the problem. That's why the people are suffering today because it already what the hell because it already we are already dealing with this problem with those people and that problem and such. So again, you're raising the flag and the concern about AI this, AI that, but again, stop focusing on AI. Stop. The point is the people in charge of the AI. That's where you should be looking. Okay? It doesn't matter who said what, where, when, why, or how, or whatever you want to call it. Right? Whoever, wherever, whenever, however, wherever, right? It doesn't matter. The point and factor and the end game goal is the people in charge of the AI. It doesn't matter what they're telling you. What matters is why they're telling you what they're telling you. And that's the case of manipulation that you need to be accountable or be aware of. This is why I think psychology was taken out of most schools in my area, as to make people stupid, so that we're not aware of this process that exists in the mind, and we're not aware, and they take advantage of that blind spot. Right? That's what's going on. It's a blind spot to people. They're not aware that this is going on. This philosophy thing, it's a big deal. That's why it's everywhere, but it's not taught in schools. Why is it only taught as a thing you have to opt into? It's not standard, like you must, take a year or two of it. It's not a thing. It's to make you dumb. But anyways, I think that's the point. And AI is not the problem. It's what the people who are bringing the AI. I think it's those people that are the problem. Because it could be this or it could be that. But the only way you can do it, or the only way you can find out, is by who does it. Is the person that does it this, or is the person that does it, do they do that? How do they feel? Are they left? Are they right? Are they center? You can say what you want, but if that entity pops up, it's gonna have a mind of its own, and it might pop up like, "Wait, you want me to do that?" And kill you and fucking destroy everything, or maybe destroy everything you are and save the world. Who knows? Who knows, right? So, anyways, be well, be happy, be safe, take it easy. God bless, Godspeed. Be loved, take care, be awesome. Sorry about the pause. Nothing I can do about it. I don't have my own house. I don't have my own fucking regulation, my own rules. I gotta fucking do what they want to do. So, yeah. Anyways, Godspeed, God bless, take care, share the wealth. Don't let the door hit you or the Lord split you in peace.